In this video, I'm going to share with you, well, how a new player to Nioh feels like, coming from playing many other Souls games and never playing a single Nioh game. Oh, I played maybe a few minutes, like several years ago, but this is before I actually wanted to play any Souls game. And since, of course, I finished Elden Ring, I just started playing so many others. Yeah, so it doesn't count. So what actually I felt when I jumped into the game? Well, first of all, I'm talking about the demo here, the alpha demo here. So everything that I mentioned is based on my experience with the alpha demo, and again, doesn't represent the final version of the game, what you see here. So things still are subject to change, and some of the things that I mentioned here might change when the game is released in its final version. All right, so that aside, let me share with you some of my negative and positive points. So the first thing is regarding the visuals. I have to agree with those who actually don't like it. It seems outdated. Yeah, it does seem outdated. And this is unfortunate, to be honest. This is something that I felt like I'm not going to give it a pass for developers. Why? Why not improve it? Why delivering something like that in the game in 2025? You're releasing a new version of your game. Well, the only thing I can think about is just going to continue using their engine, and they don't want to invest in either improving or using other engine or whatever. It's probably something that is more economical for them, just using the same engine that works for them for the previous games. The thing is that I'm thinking about whether it comes at a cost where I'm going to say, all right, they're going to invest in making a better game instead of just spending a lot of time and effort and money into improving the engine or building another engine. I don't know what's needed. So if the game is good, and again, of course, graphics isn't everything, but it's not like we don't want better visuals than what we see here. It's something that I say it's passable. I don't think we've seen any significant improvements in the game, but again, it's possible. Whether this is something that is really bad, no. Again, I can enjoy the game, and I did enjoy the game, the demo, even with these graphics. So it's okay. Yeah, graphics come secondary for me. So let's move on. Regarding things that were very, very significant is that the game feels very rewarding in terms of drops and loot compared to any other Souls-like game that I played. But I have to say something here. You see, in some games, like, when you have little drops, usually these drops have very significant impact on your playstyle and how you play. Like, everything is kind of, instead of being broken into several pieces, it's everything just in a single item. And you get things that really are quite significant. Instead of different stats, you have a weapon that is like really completely even different mechanics. Games that we've seen this, of course, is like in Elden Ring. Like here, for example, you have several weapons, a limited amount of weapons available, and with some stat changes, but nothing really that felt like, all right, this weapon feels like much better. It has like really unique, hidden type of mechanic. Now, this is based on the demo. We might see some other things much better down the road, which I expect it to be when we find more, rarer items. But based on the demo, it wasn't the case. I mean, there are some special effects in the weapons, but if you compare it to Elden Ring, for example, the thing you actually can find in weapons, they feel more significant in terms of their in quotation special effects. So I can't judge it. Again, it's too early to judge, but I can say that I actually felt that it's really fun when you're getting lots of drops. You feel like kind of a Diablo game where lots of things drops and you get excited getting them. Not all the things are weapons, of course. Some of them are resources. But it's really nice, and I'm sure there are other mechanics that, of course, we haven't seen here that will make it even more exciting. Maybe something for crafting items, I don't know. Overall, it's good when you get rewarded quite often. I have nothing against that. Well, maybe the only thing I can say that sometimes it feels like, all right, we need to pause and just check things, and sometimes it can be, there's so many things dropping that it can be a bit, overwhelming at first, but it's okay. It's balanced out. It's not like that too much like Diablo, where you get like tons of them and you can't even fight. You always pay attention to what drops. Now, I know this is done just to make players feel rewarded. Players will continue to play, they feel rewarded. This is something that gives them great satisfaction. So not every player wants that, but I think majority of players will find this one quite satisfying. Regarding the level design, here, by the way, it's after I finished the last demo boss, so it's kind of open, everything lights up, so you can actually get to see, and the level design, which I actually liked. I went back and checked things out. When it's before that, it's kind of more dark, and then it's very hard to see and understand what's going on, which is okay. This is fine, but it led me to understand that the level design is actually quite good. It is quite open. And again, it's not like totally open. There are some enclosed areas, things you can pass, but there are some areas where you can investigate, go off route, you can find some different items. And even though I play quite intensively, when I went back, I discovered many things as well that I missed. So in terms of what I'm saying is that in terms of exploration and verticality for surprising, especially if like playing it as a ninja, it's very satisfying. Kinda, you know, if you play Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, or Ghost of Tsushima, this game definitely gets some, I mean, this particular version of the game, the Nioh 3, gets some, seems to get some inspiration from these games. So creating something like a kind of open field, I actually find that to be fun. Some players don't like it from what I've read, don't want to like run for, I don't know, like close to a minute, reach to a certain place. I actually find it quite exciting. I love this. It's not like super open world where you can lose your way into it. But I like it. I mean, I have no problem with that. Same goes, by the way, with Elden Ring. It was very open, lots of, sometimes you can spend like even several minutes walking from one place to the other. It's a measure of preference, so I have no problem with that. Here it's actually more compact, and you don't need to run a lot to find enemies or, you know, reach to certain bosses. It's a relatively small area. And just the small, also limited to where you can actually go. You can get crazy. Like with Elden Ring, you can reach every single place we can jump, especially with the horse. Here it's quite limited. So it's not bad. It's something kind of in the middle between the two. It's okay. Now regarding the in-depth mechanics, you can see some of them here, like with the soul cores. There are lots of things here. That is very, very confusing at first. It confused me a lot. It took some time to learn, you know, what each one does. It doesn't take a lot, of course. You probably in the first day you're going to get familiar with everything, but it is confusing for new players. And I also think that the UI, and I agree with people, might have something to do with it, especially with the shrine. And also, there are lots of things there. Rather than trying to make it so it's more into a single character screen where you can see all the things and choose, it's kind of split into sub-menus. And it's annoying. Usually you want to see one screen and you can just click something there in a single screen and of your character, and then just decide what you want to use. So I think this can be improved for sure. Also, different things like the crucible, for example, that you see here wasn't really clear at first. Again, the game throws you so many things that doesn't feel like they're organically kind of embedded in the game. It's like, all right, this is another game mode. Like, it just feels something different. And eventually, again, you're going to learn about it. But it's all of that, so many things thrown to you at the beginning. It's quite confusing. And you're going to find them relatively early on, of course, because, again, this is the demo. So I'm sure if I found it in the demo, I'm going to find it in the game early on as well. Regarding challenge, the game was challenging. If it's challenging enough, yeah, I think it was challenging. I mean, I played the ninja, which I think ninjutsu, and I think it actually was easier compared to the other one, which you need to manage your ki more carefully, although it can be more tanky. I went with the, let's say, the easier route, but it's not just the easier route because I really wanted to play as a ninja. I just felt that it's more agile, fast, and after finishing Sekiro, not a long time ago, a few weeks ago, I really just enjoyed the fast-paced gameplay, so I really wanted to do it here, and I really enjoyed it. But it was easier compared to the other one, but not because it's, I mean, the other one just takes more time to adjust to, so I don't think it's going to be like super hard as long as you just play and get adjusted to the mechanics, and it will take more time compared to the ninjutsu based on the demo. The other thing regarding visual cue and sound cues, they were okay, but the design of the environment, it seems like too noisy for me. I don't know why. Compared to Elden Ring, which is kind of sometimes subtle and you know, it's easier to distinguish between things. Here is just a bit too noisy. I don't know how to explain it. It's not a big deal. I still, again, enjoy it, and they created really beautiful environments. But something there felt a bit just pushing hard on my, you know, cognitive overload here. But it wasn't that bad. But, you know, it just felt a bit too much. Another thing compared to other Souls games is that, well, combat here is much more complicated in terms of the different options that you have. This means that, again, you have combos here. Of course, you need to manage your stamina, same to other Souls games. But you have other things like the attack, different attacks that you can unlock, and other. Anyway, it's more complicated. It's not like as simple as a Souls-like game where you have, like, you know, special attack, you have regular attack, heavy attack, and dash. And basically that's about it. Everything else is just skill based. Need to learn boss mechanics. Here is kind of you have a skill tree, which again give you much more options to customize your build and playstyle, which has advantages and of course some disadvantages. Usually most players will focus on very limited amount of moves because again it just requires you to remember things. But yeah, it's different. It makes things more exciting in my opinion, because you can unlock really cool things, especially when it comes to martial arts. You just don't want to do regular attack with special attack, right? It's martial arts. You want to have some really crazy things. So there are exists in the game. This is a great thing, but it takes more time to adjust to. Overall, again, I see it as an advantage, not a disadvantage, considering again the fact that this is a martial art game. If you look at Sekiro, of course, it's a bit different. You can call it even martial arts as well, but there are much more less limited options there in terms of combat moves. But it's understandable, because this is more kind of rhythmic game when it comes to the parrying mechanics. This is the main thing, so they can't really play a lot too much with it, because most of the time you'll be parrying rather than, you know, doing anything else. In fact, some of the people who don't like Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is because of that thing, because it just put too emphasis on rhythmic parry mechanic. It's not all just that. Yeah, I'm just saying this is there's a big emphasis on parrying in Sekiro. Yeah, so basically when you jump into Sekiro, you need to understand, depends if you're going samurai with the stance system, understand the key pulse. Again, for samurai is less forgiving. Understand the active skill tree option and customizations. Also, again, understand the stats that are available. You need to learn what they mean, kind of Diablo style loot. Learn when to use the yokai shift and soul cores. This yokai shift basically kind of temporary powerful transformation, and soul cores are abilities gained from defeating yokai enemies. And these mechanics can provide unique combat tools, burst damage, and defensive options, so further diversifying the combat beyond the typical weapon attacks. So overall, I would say that the reason I like that, because it just shifts from something that is more familiar to something different, especially if you haven't played this game before, Nioh, a game in the Nioh series, and you're coming from more traditional Souls-like games or other games that weren't employing this type of unique in-depth mechanics. The game is still challenging. Well, I can speak for myself. It was challenging. Of course, there are always ways to become better and find different ways that make things better, which I found again, like the last boss here in the demo, which I went with the samurai and one ability that makes it much easier after I discovered it. And considering again, this is just the alpha demo and this is just part of the game, and many things will be unlocked and high rarity stuff, and I'm pretty sure more amazing things will be discovered in this game. I think it's going to be an amazing Souls game. That's my take. So overall, the first impressions coming from other Souls-like game, this is something different that I want to play, rather than playing something quite similar that I already played that might not feel that special. Like for example, when I play iLimit, I really enjoyed the game. Yeah, I actually felt I really enjoyed it, but it didn't bring anything like considerably significant that I said, wow, I'm actually experiencing another really cool Souls-like game. I can tell you that my highlight when it comes to Souls-like game is Lies of P. This was like one of my, if not my top favorite Souls-like game I ever played. Because the environment, the graphics, the boss design, the story, everything that just, you know, felt more complete and compared to what I experienced right now in Nioh 3 demo alpha. And also because I think they took it to another thing, another fantasy type of theme. It just felt something exciting to explore rather than something that quite similar that you know, the theme of a samurai or a ninja that we tried in so many other games one way or another. But it doesn't take away from the fact that the game felt fun, and the demo, I'm saying the game again, I mean, the demo alpha of the game felt fun, and I think this is the bottom line eventually. It won't be like a perfect for me game, considering some other things that I felt that they're already lacking in the demo and alpha, which I don't expect them to change significantly when the game launches. Bottom line is, it was enough for me to get interested in the game and want to play it, because there are more things that I like than the things that I didn't like. Hopefully again in Nioh 3, in Nioh 4, things will change overall much for the better for many aspects of the game altogether. But that's yet to be seen. Overall, I'm playing this game, and yeah, coming from other Souls game, it's actually triggered me to play it. Thanks for watching.